Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, that subscribe, and maybe even that cheeky notification bell too. Just look at it, cheeky thing. And let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from Brit's Lipstick, who says, my 36 female boyfriend, 50 male, cancelled our holiday and then last minute decided to go after I couldn't make it. My boyfriend and I have a couple of kids between us from previous marriages. We've been together 4 years, but lately it's been a little rocky. Last year I organised and took us all to the lake. This year I was working on a huge project and so couldn't do that. We threw around some dates and possible outings, and I took the time off work and figured something would work out. When it became clear about a month ago that he wasn't ready to solidify any plans, I decided I'd just work over the time I booked off and take a holiday in the fall instead. I don't get much time off and wanted it to be special. That said, I really do need a summer break. This week, he was off work and kind of announced out of nowhere that he had decided to go to one of the places we were considering. He's there with his kids now, doing all the things I love to do, and I'm stuck at work. Of course, it's been a hell of a week and I'm run ragged, plus feeling major mum guilt that my little is in a city camp instead of having a beach fire by the ocean after surfing all day. This guy can be inconsiderate at times. I can also be super highly sensitive. We spoke on the phone this morning and I asked if he just didn't want us along, and that's why the last minute decision to go after I was stuck at work. He stated he felt backed into a corner with that, and he had an invite from a friend in the area and didn't want to pass it up when he was off anyways. I figured that was fair and tried to send a cute pic tonight to make up for the tense convo this morning. But he called and said he couldn't open the pic on his phone at present because they're out on the water watching the sunset from a friend's boat. Ugh, jealous. There is an income disparity between us. We pay 50-50 for things and I'm quite comfortable in my career and life, but he has one of those very well paid professions where you don't have to work that often. Because of how his divorce went, he's really touchy about thinking others are using him for money. I figure that's fine, whatever, and treat him like other men I've dated and just pay my way, sometimes treating him, sometimes being treated. He's older and seems to be easing towards early retirement, whereas I have many years of work left. I see my peers and men my age all working and not being able to dash off at a moment's notice but still enjoying a happy life. I envy those without the dual age and income gap because, to be honest, he often makes me feel pathetic and like my life is shit, when really that is far from the case. I felt so stupid with my little pic waiting to be sent. A cute/sexy pose in front of my beach-themed shower curtain to show there's no hard feelings and we can both enjoy the beach, while he's reclined on a yacht on the water with people laughing around him. I feel so silly and pathetic that after a night on the water he will open a pic of me with my PVC beach. Ugh, am I being a spoiled sport here? Would this bother you? What would your next steps be? This isn't the first time his wealth has shown up in a way that's made me feel pathetic or like my child is getting a lesser quality childhood. And while we remain not ready to merge households, his choice, I'm not sure how long I can tolerate this. He says he wants to be with me and wants to go away next weekend, but if I hear another thing about this trip, while I'm sweating over multiple work deadlines, while I'm sweating through my commute, I'm going to scream. Thank you for reading. Claraggio says, did he have any reaction to you deciding not to follow through with the holiday? Was he bummed out? Is it possible he thought you didn't want to go with him, so now he went without you? Opie replies saying, he was sad but understood. I get 6 weeks per year compared to his approximate 30 weeks per year. He knew I wanted to be there, although last time we went away with the kids, it didn't go that well. So, lad says, wait, hold up. He gets 30 weeks of vacation a year, makes a shit ton of money to boot, meaning that he could easily take this vacation and another with just himself and his kids, and he blew you off. To be honest, it sounds like he doesn't want to go on vacation with you, especially since it didn't go well last time. God, that's some bullshit. Also, paying 50-50 when he makes multiple times what you make is completely unfair. Trust me, He's getting the much better end of the deal here. Chaotic Serenity says in quotes, he's older and seems to be easing towards early retirement, whereas I have many years of work left. I see my peers and men my age all working and not being able to dash off on a moment's notice, but still enjoying a happy life. I envy those with the dual age and income gap. He goes on to say, it just sort of feels like you're incompatible due to different stages of life. As you said, he's probably going to retire soon, but you'll be working a while. What are you going to do once he retires and gets to go on trips all the time while you work? OP replies saying, thank you for your response. Your last question is one I asked myself a lot this week. It may be a deal breaker. Octropos says, Jesus, this is unacceptable. I normally don't tell people they need to date someone more their speed, but this guy sounds too independent for a relationship. I'd downgrade him to a fuck buddy and tell him straight to his face he's not ready for a relationship and you'll find someone who is. 50 is too old for a cat to change his stripes. He clearly would rather do everything his own way and still have the benefit of a comfort girlfriend. This guy is not going to be an equal life partner for you. He is set in his independent ways and he will never meet you halfway. Not truly. Uncle Egma says, this is the way money makes people feel. It creates feelings of insecurity and worthlessness because it directly ties your freedom to relax and actually feel comfortable in your career and life with a rather arbitrary value that has nothing to do with how good of a person you are or how much you deserve from life, to which OP replies in, I completely agree with you. Interestingly, he makes me feel like I'm living hand to mouth or in poverty when I make 6 figures. But because he has so much more money than me, what I see when I take stock of my own life looks meager in comparison. I hate that part of things. He tells me about his friends teasing him for dating someone much younger, like I'm his trophy girlfriend, and I tell him I'd rather be with someone at my same income level or even a little less. Would still be comfortable, but I wouldn't feel like a loser for having to work more than 20 to 52 weeks or having to plan for things. And one more from Turquoise who says he's treating you as a convenience. When you are nice to him and doing what he wants and expects is fine, but as soon as you start asking for respect or you call him out for something, you're a burden and he doesn't want to be bothered. He can be sweet, is a line I've heard from every single woman who's dating a selfish guy. He's sweet when he wants to be, to keep you in the relationship. He'll be nice to you when he wants to keep you in the relationship. But the minute anything gets difficult, he backs off and does his own thing. He isn't listening to your needs or respecting you. Given the money thing, he doesn't sound like someone you should be wasting any more of your time on. And OP replies saying, you make really good points that are super hard for me to read. The money thing keeps coming up in this thread and I'm not sure why. I'm totally fine and don't need help to pay for my life. When we go out or are otherwise involved in spending money on things, we split funds like I would do with a friend or a family member. I'm not entitled to his money, you know. I just don't see that as a deal breaker. When he has wanted to do things I could not afford, I told him and we either didn't do it or he'd pay my way, and I made a gesture of thanks, but at my own income level. Like he paid for flights to Cuba once, but we split the hotel and I paid for a couple of excursions we did. And personally at the moment, before we go into this update, I can't see this ending particularly well, just because of the clear difference in their lives and his independence, like that one comment was saying. I don't think he's going to suddenly change just at a click of the fingers or after a small talk. I just can't see it happening, but I guess we'll find out in a second. So the update says, after he returned home from our holiday, I tried to raise some of the issues that were pointed out to me by people who commented on my original post, which all boiled down to a reality that basically our relationship is really only a relationship to me, and that for him, I'm just providing the girlfriend experience without being able to expect or enjoy any kind of commitment. He defended his actions and did manage to generate a pretty impressive list of ways he has been there for me over the past 4 years. But as I learned from you wise people, he is really only there for me when it is on his terms, and when he is being so sweet it is likely an act, whereas the rest of the time he's just being himself. We broke up a couple of weeks after he returned home. I will admit that it was devastating for me and I really had to go through a grief process for the loss of how I hoped things might turn out. Until about a week ago, he would not leave me alone. He left me daily gifts at my home, actually inside of my home, and until I made him give me back my key. He recruited my friends to do little surprises for me. knowing I hadn't had the heart to tell people about our breakup at that point. It was humiliating. When it was my birthday, he sent a lavish gift based on a sexy inside joke of ours. He came to my workplace, he's a consultant there, and I am on the payroll, and acted as though we are together, making me cry in the bathroom at how awkward it was because I hadn't told my colleagues about our split at that point. And worst of all, I took myself to a hot country to have a solo vacation, all sister doing it for herself. And he had the nerve to join me at the place I was staying after he found out about it from others. When I asked if he was there because he changed his mind and wanted to be with me, hopeless hope, I couldn't help it, he laughed it off and said no. My trip just sounded fun, so he thought he'd have fun with me. He ruined a vacation I really needed, and I embarrassed myself crying many tears in a beautiful tropical paradise surrounded by people in love, or at least that's how it seemed. I realize how horrible he sounds when I write all of this out, but we did have many good years together, including a lot of fun doing a shared hobby that not a lot of people are into that is super time consuming. I'm not sure how to face him in our mutual spaces anymore. I don't know what switched off for him to finally give me space, but it has helped immensely for me to heal and get over this without him lurking around or love bombing me to try to get me to change my mind. After the vacation fiasco, I know that he is only reaching out because he misses the convenience I brought to his life, not because he misses me or cares about me, or he never would have done such a rude, selfish thing. I am posting mainly as a thank you to those of you who took the time to reach out and share your perspectives with me, both gently and not so gently. I'm not sure how I was recruited into allowing him to treat me that way, and I'm working with a very fantastic therapist to learn more about who I am in relationships. It will be hard to spend holidays without him, and I miss his kids a lot, but it is such a good feeling to know that I have a fresh start. I've been enjoying the holiday parties with family and friends this year and have met a couple of really cute men who are close in my age, seem emotionally available and are immersed in interesting creative careers. They flirt with me like I'm a real person, talking and asking questions instead of just compliments, and being taken to events like The Token, I got dumped by my wife but check out this hot babe who loves me type of girlfriend. I'm being careful and so slow, but guys, also hopeful too. I'm very grateful for your help. Hopefully you have a lovely holiday and a wonderful new year. Signed, Recovering Plaything. Now it's one of those situations where you hear me time and time again saying, who does that? Broke up with him and he joined you on your trip, like stalkerish level behavior. And you asked if he changed his mind. He went no and laughed it off. The trip just sounded fun. That sounds absolutely psychotic. However, I am glad that they've decided to move on now and hopefully finding a decent relationship for themselves. And they did say that they're going to be taking it slow, which I think is always a good thing. But what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story is a bit of a different one from Fiesta Phantom, who says, help with dating a shy guy. Is he 27 male into me, 32 female, or just happy to get attention? When is shyness actually a red flag? What kind of dates help ease the anxiety? Hello, I, 32 female, met a very nice and seriously cute guy, 27 male, online, and we've been out on 3 dates. I initiated contact, and the first date, drinks, he asked me on a second date, but suggested I pick the restaurant, which I did. I also picked the day and time and made reservations. He asked me on a third date and planned it. He's paid every time, and we often text. We have a ton in common, easy conversation, and we laugh a lot. Dates last around 2 to 4 hours, which is pretty long considering they have all been on weekdays and we both work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday jobs. Here's my quandary. On these dates there is 0% flirting on his end and absolutely no response to my flirting. The only thing I've noted is that he doesn't pull away when I touch him, have my leg touch his arm or his knee, etc. He has also warmed up to flirting via text, but it is very low key. He wrote I was cute once and told me my dress was nice. He literally hasn't complimented my personality or appearance in person ever, even reciprocally. No, you look nice, thanks, so do you. It's, you look nice, thanks, my cousin gave me this shirt. No kissing, touching, and 2 awkward hugs that I initiated. He once told me that he could tell I liked to run because I had a runner's body. At this point, I was shocked to hear an admission that he had even noticed I had a body, let alone looked at it. During our last date, I really flirted. I whispered in his ear, had my hand on his arm and leg, etc. I feel I made it very clear that I was interested and attracted to him without being all over him and embarrassing either of us. Again, he didn't pull away at all and he kept the date going longer, ordering a second drink, and he smiled a lot, but that was it. I thought for sure he would at least initiate a hug at the end of the night, and he didn't. I drove home embarrassed that I misread things so badly. When I got home, I texted him to ask if he was shy or just not into me, and he texts back that he was very shy and definitely interested. I'm glad I did because now we joke more easily over text and flirt more over text. I want to bring these conversations to the phone or in person. Eventually, but right now, I don't want to freak him out and I feel like I could. So, I'm hoping for some advice. I like him a lot, but I'm wondering at what point shyness is a red flag. When does shyness spill over into social anxiety or difficulty expressing oneself in a relationship after the shyness dissipates? What should I be watching out for? He's totally a typical person in every other respect in terms of social interactions. It is only when it comes to anything that might slightly imply romantic or sexual interest when he simply does not reciprocate or initiate, unless it's through texting. Also, I'm trying harder to look at actions, not words, and this guy's main action is inaction. I feel like he treats me like a friend in terms of physical interaction and wordplay, even after I turn up the flirting on my end. How can I tell the difference between a shy guy who is invested in me and a shy guy who is just happy to get attention from a woman? I don't want to end up really liking someone who is with me to avoid being alone, and I'm starting to really like him. I have one shy friend who said that because he isn't flirting back 3 dates in doesn't mean he won't flirt with me eventually, but I can't help but feel slightly friend-zoned on these dates. I know that I could try to kiss him if I wanted to, but I don't feel like he wants me to. Also, I don't want to do that because I think I'll always wonder about this concept that he's only with me because I made it easy for him. I've kissed guys first before, so I'm not against doing that, but with this guy, I am. I want to feel wanted. Okay, and last thing, I've invited him to watch a movie at my place next time, but that's a week away. I'm traveling for work and he agreed. I'm hoping that the low-key social atmosphere will eliminate the pressure of a date, but I'm also worried that A, he might freak out and think I'm trying to sleep with him, despite not yet having held his hand, and B, might be excited that I'm trying to sleep with him because I don't want to sleep with him. I haven't even held his hand, lol. My sister suggested finding a basketball game to attend or something else with a less date vibe, but also less of a at her place alone vibe. Normally, I would talk to a guy about this all, but 3 dates in just seems too soon to tell him he's making me feel undesirable or something. Help! Thanks. And we have a little small update in a second. Now, I'm an absolutely shite flirter as well. Too many questions go in my mind, the whole fence issue we had many months ago. And I pretty much argue with myself and set my anxiety off. And I know lots of people, and they'll probably say it again, don't get help for that. I'm okay. I'm okay in myself. I'm comfortable in myself, all right? But I know in situations like this, probably not so much anymore, but in the past, I would certainly be questioning things like if she put a hand on my shoulder or my leg or whatever, I said, should I do it? But what if she rejects it? And then a whole scene would play in my head of me putting my hand on her leg and suddenly she gets up and calls me a pig and walks out or something like that. Obviously, I'm not saying that's the case with this chap, but I think it does take some people a lot longer to warm up to others to get to that point, really. I'm pretty confident that he's totally into you from what I'm reading here. It just needs that little next step to give himself that little next step nudge. But Form says some guys cannot flirt for shit, at all. And many guys would not catch a hint/flirt if you pulled your tits out and stuck them in his face. My word. Some guys might be 99% sure you're into them, but the 1% paralyzes them. I know it's hard for women to believe, but it's true. Might have to actually talk to him about this stuff, or just get really huggy and kissy, or take him dancing and be all over him. But who knows, maybe he's gay and questioning. No guarantees. And Celestial says, it sounds like you're absolutely smitten with this guy, and that is adorable. As a shy guy myself, I'd say this behavior is not really all that concerning for someone who is willing to describe themselves as very shy. Sometimes we just don't really know how to react. He may very well enjoy all of the nice attention you are giving him, but he may not want to mess up / ruin it in some way, especially if he hasn't been in a lot of relationships or doesn't have much experience with intimacy. Just be patient with him. If he's admitted to liking you, which he has, he should open up to you eventually. And one more from Anthro says, I would just give it time. Be patient with him. He seems to like you based on what you've said. Make the first move, sit close to him during the movie, go in for a hug at the end of the night. See how he responds to these things. He wouldn't continue to go out with you and pay for dinners if he wasn't into you. I think it would be a mistake to expect him to make the first move if you feel like you're ready for that and he's shy. Just do it. His reaction will tell you where you stand. He will open up with time. Some people just take a little more time to get to know. And it's totally worth putting in the extra time for shy people. They are the best once you get to know them and they become comfortable with you. Shyness is not a bad thing. Now OP updated the post which says, thanks everyone. Things are going amazingly well. Shy guy is not shy anymore. We took it really slow and I initiated by calling him on the phone and chatting him up and holding his hand on one date. We sat for 2 hours on his couch holding hands and talking. Swoon. And then kissing him first on the next 6 dates in. We spent the whole weekend together. I'm extremely happy and appreciate the support from this group. He hasn't had a girlfriend in 4 years and was incredibly nervous about the whole thing. I was really worried that he just wasn't into me or that he was happy to have the attention. But it turns out that he's had a lot of first and second dates, just no one who sparked an interest. Taking it slow, talking to him about it, and moving to a more private dating location were all key. Thanks again. I like him so much, and I haven't been this excited about a guy in a really, really long time. Appreciate all the advice. Really. And what a way to end the video, on an absolute flying high there. But what do you guys make of this one? What about your dating experience? Are you a shy person? Have you dated a shy person? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Now just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always mean the absolute world. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today